to be able to get something done. I'm kind of worried for EHOME right now because they are making a lot of movement, and I feel like they wanted to be doing better in the lanes than they are. Whereas realistically, the Bristleback's farming very well. The Storm versus the Mirana is kind of tied up at the moment, but I would expect, you know, S4 to start pulling ahead. He's got 3 Rangers in his lane, so for now, you know, Alliance, this is the start they're looking for.
Absolutely. So the Alliance reaction every time
belongs to me.
Absolutely worth it, you'd say, with their heroes.
Oh yeah, you just want to make sure that even if you're spending a little bit of money TPing around, you're not giving away the free laning phase to EHOME. Because again, with
Drow Ranger,
you want to.
I am scarce worthy of your
walk
presence.
Walk around the map, teleport around the map, and get nothing done.
So on the bottom lane, EGM has come across towards Old Love, just drops down an Ignite, just a bit of harassment, forcing them back. Levin and Old Lanham having to be careful, and as we can see, CS at the moment, Loader 12 for 4, and certainly a lot better than Ice has managed to kick off at the moment. He's of course on the safe lane now, as we've seen, but still having to deal with the presence of the Bristleback, and now also coming up as well, also back up Bulldog. So this lane isn't going to get any easier for Ice on the Juggernaut. And Alliance, as we can see, CS-wise, top 3 on the board, all on the side of Alliance. They're certainly playing the center stage a lot better, and they're reading the lanes and reacting in a way that's paying off at the moment.
It is a little bit worse.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
Link dagger timing is going to be really key for Old 11. That's one thing that EHOME can look to and say, alright, we got some pretty decent mid game. But as far as Old Lanham having impact in the lanes, he's pretty much doing the only thing he can, which is try to contest wins at the moment and just go for trades. But trading against an Ogre is not easy. The hero has very good base regen and 8 armor, so unless you're going to be spamming spells on him, the Ogre is going to be winning most of the game already. He still has a lot of regen, so it's not like the Undying can just sit there and stop even Loda from getting farm at this point. This is probably the most under pressure I've actually seen EHOME in the laning phase the entire state of TI. I mean, of course, they did split a couple of series, but when the way they draft leads you to believe that they would want to do well in the lanes, and it's just not happening right now.
And as you said, in terms of recovery, it is really just the big item timings, looking for the Blink Dagger on the Sand King and waiting for it to start to make the plays to recover from the start.
We'll have to see. They have very good heroes like getting kills. Like, you have the disruption into Arrow, obviously. You have Epicenter with a Burrow Strike, which is a very good stun against heroes like Storm, and some of the heroes on Alliance are a bit squishy to magical damage. So they have ways of making a comeback as long as they're getting their rotations down.
And one thing to know as well, definitely where Bulldog was on the Bristleback, and I mean he's got to be one of the fastest farmers on the Bristle I've seen. You know, obviously not a lot of heroes, a lot of teams playing it, but if you let him get the space, he's going to get to that point where he's just going to become this unkillable force that can frontline that pushes for Alliance. So see what EHOME do to tackle Bulldog's progression, and of course at the moment with the way that the lanes are going on, he is having absolutely free reign up top, and especially with the presence of Ake. Him up with the mana. Bulldog, the DCS at the moment, and neither Ephemerate or Ice able to do anything in terms of slowing down the Bristle.
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right now.
The matchup continues 31 to 7. They're going to start to break the lane of Alliance up here. They'll try for Ephemerate.
So much for diplomacy.
He TP's out in time, but a nice move from EHOME to crush the top. And well, hang on. Oh, that. Coming into S4 behind a tier 2. Will TP himself away, but EHOME starting to find the crack in Alliance's lineup and abuse it by taking down Ake.
Yeah, they were trying to find something with the Undying during that time, but unfortunately, you're not really going to kill a Storm, especially once he's level 6 and has a little bit of mana to zip away. You need to either land an arrow, get a Burrow Strike into a secondary stun. Those are the setups that you actually have that are going to be able to pressure him. But otherwise, I mean, getting the kill on the Coddle is nice. We're going to see a leap away here from Mr. Old Chicken. But look at the Jug's farm, comparative to Bulldog. Bulldog is the highest farm in the game, and Ice is struggling.
Selfish.
Bottom lane, EHOME with the smoke, ready to put some pressure on. EG actually is going to dispel it towards the two BGM trying to get out. Hold on, body from him a little bit. It looks like he's going to be fun. Let's hold on. Can hit the Burrow Strike off now. The poison's too much. Unable to deny himself. EHOME with their movements now, starting to come on. Top of Alliance. Loader heading back. Smartly so. 4 heroes did head down here. We're already seeing Lanham return towards the mid, try and get some levels on the Undying. But another kill for EHOME. Alliance, they can respond by
Radiant's bottom tower has seen better days.
You're realizing that Ice actually be on his own, and he is indeed. Ice already backing away from the lane. So
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
I really like the way that EHOME play this. Every single time Alliance pick Bristleback and they put Bulldog in the offlane like this,
Have fun trying to bust down Radiant structures now. Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right now.
And mid, they're protecting mid in the offlane. So EHOME probably just making that read.
Radiant's bottom tower has seen better days.
There's not going to be much vision on Alliance side of the map.
Radiant's bottom tower's done
so whenever they make
for.
a rotation, it's much harder to anticipate and it's much harder to dodge. That looks like they're also going to be able to secure the safe lane tier 1. So EHOME making really big strides here in the early game to recover from the CS and the laning phase.
As for the moment, a man to watch has got a haste rune bottle. If anything goes down at all on the mid lane, 2 of them at the moment coming towards. Hard of course to make a jump on S4. As, looking at EHOME's draft, obviously in terms of lockdown, it's pretty much the burrow strike, the aerial
Denied!
Could be a hard game to control and contain a storm spirit.
Oh, absolutely. Like,
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower. Dire structures looking fortified.
Unkillable, barring a perfect combination from the side of EHOME.
See mid lane, there's a bit of a wraparound from the Sand King. Can't quite find an opening. Old Levin, he's got his eyes on S4 on the side. He may try for something, the ping's coming out, but S4 playing it safe. Lane, Alliance putting some pressure on, but there'll be a TP in from Lanham as it comes to back up Ice on the defensive. As we said earlier, obviously Ice is struggling to find that farm. He's slowly catching up. The points of the Healing Wall keeping him able to stay in lane against Alliance's pressure. Of course, he's playing it carefully in Alliance, still yet to be able to find a kill. EHOME, trying not to throw anything away under the pressure that
Radiant's bottom tower seen better days.
It's not as if Alliance needs to rush it or anything. Like normally drought strategies have some incentive to push towers early, that's always going to be true. But, oh, looks like we're going to see a kill here.
Comes out immediately, Tombstone drops and Jug jumps in and it's a big kill as well. The Bulldog pretty much was right up there, top of the network. It's done a little bit. It's a big kill for EHOME and the third one.
Over here now!
S4 playing around with a haste rune. Dodges the initial Starstorm with the zap. Flying through this, but Old Levin turning up. Gotta be careful.
Here I am!
In this rune as well.
Over here now!
And with an in, zipping ball, keep
Stop! Take me!
Told you a storm was coming!
He's gonna be fine. He's very low on the mana, so unable to do anything about Old Lanham. But S4, the master of the runes, playing around with a haste in the invis. He'll take that as well as a bit of a bonus. S4, a kill and a few creeps to boot.
It's such a good start for a Storm to get that kill, get those runes, steal a stack away as well. There's even another large stack on their side of the woods. I think they're going to get that one to Bulldog, but either way, I'm getting a really good start in this game. Amazing. Bloodstone, you start getting a few charges during fights, just make sure you don't die. You can get out of control real fast. And if you look at the way that EHOME rewarded, they're trying to prevent this from just all these aggressive wards all over the map, trying to find openings. They have gotten a little bit of a kill lead so far, but in regards to overall net worth, Alliance are still doing very well.
So let's look on the Sand King.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
Once he does get it, and the same time we're seeing now over on Bulldog, he's just finished off the Vanguard. So next time, an Omni might not be enough to bring down this big Storm. Especially with the farm he's going to get from this ancient stack. Not in the neighborhood to do anything about this. Bulldog, he should be able to claim this without any issues at all. I can't make sure he has
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up. Radiant structures must have been fortified. Radiant's top tower's in bad shape. Radiant's top tower is taking hits. One last top tower for the Radiant.
For Alliance doesn't really mean
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer.
An aggressive ward and the large camp in the ancient spot, but realistically they already killed the stack. So the goal that they had for the early game was accomplished before that tower dropped. And that means that now EHOME probably looking to rotate to get that last tier 1 down. their team is alright at killing Roshan, it's just extremely slow. Like, they have use of the healing ward, but I think that's kind of a benefit of Alliance's straps. They do so much more physical damage because of the Drow and having the 3 ranged heroes plus the Bristleback, who can obviously take away armor from Roshan once he starts getting points into the goop. I think that EHOME are actually going to struggle for a little bit. They are smoked up in mass here.
I'm going to try and do something to break this struggle. See what they'll have for the moment. Down on the bottom. S4 in the jungle on the strong Drow.
Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower?
Either of them though. EHOME going in blind. If they're able to get a whiff of either hero already. One's backing up. Loda's got to be careful. Try the secret shot. Use the scan, and it's a good scan from Alliance. Realizing that EHOME are moving in, and Alliance is straight out. Perfect scan from the team. EHOME won't find anything because of it.
There is a 13-minute Crimson Guard on this Bristleback, by the way. That is completely insane.
Bulldogs farm on the Bristleback. Pretty much every game has been immaculate in these group stages. And now as we're seeing as well, it's able to keep it at that level.
I think that's a little bit... See, I like the Crimson because during the early game, they had a lot of right-click damage. It's obviously very good against Tombstone. But once the Sand King gets Blink Dagger, you're also going to want stuff like a mech you're going to want to fight for sure. Mirana will eventually get that Aghanim Scepter going as well. This could be the right item timing for this stage in the game when you know that Alliance can start grouping up and looking to push towers. Because it is still like slightly before the Sand King has Blink. EHOME obviously looking for those openings once Old 11 does acquire that Blink Dagger. For now, Alliance are playing very good.
Denied.
Very close to that Blink Dagger that you talk about. Only 200 gold away. Want to make sure that he gets that safely. But also worth noting as well, as you said, because of Alliance's tools coming together, the Crimson Guard, they have got this pushing power. Good news for them is the fact that, as we can see net worth-wise, they're already very much individually at the top.
Touché!
And there's still 3 they're moving on to side.
Where's the party?
The price
But it doesn't matter, Alliance S4 and EGM playing, not he's into bottom.
Allies
He needs to spend
disappear.
his gold. I know he's chill. He knew he was fine. Moonlight Shadow's there. In fact, they may just turn this.
The Dire best do something about that bottom tower.
Find one. They had to jump in for another. But it's a nice level of chill from Sand King, who doesn't panic buy. He's got 2.4k gold.
Dire's bottom tower's getting the
He'll back up and
business.
Pick up that Blink Dagger now. As they're ready for the next engagement. A big kill for Alliance on the bottom lane, nonetheless, getting that ice kill.
Needs to be careful. Old 11 wants
Radiant's
to
top tower's hurting.
Alright, S4 not going to be greedy, making the right decision to just back off. He knows that Old 11 is missing Blink Dagger timing. 15 minutes in is a relatively standard timing for a Sand King left the lane phase as he did. First showcase of the Blink Dagger is going to be really big for EHOME. I mean, obviously the Alliance knows that he has it, but if they start grouping up and trying to push, a well-placed Burrow Epi can kind of bring EHOME back into it really quick.
And they certainly need it as well. I mean, especially considering their teams in this matchup, Alliance and EHOME, and the way that we've seen them perform before. For Alliance to be doing this well off the back of the laning stage against EHOME, I mean, as a team, there's got to be a huge amount of momentum and drive that they're going to be feeling right now. So it's got to feel great to come out the first 15 minutes like this if you're Alliance.
Yeah, and the other thing too is we mentioned the Storm doesn't really have a whole lot of natural counters in this game. The scariest part is the Blink Sand King and then getting arrowed after a Burrow Strike. But other than that,
I'm over here!
That's cool. And EHOME immediately backing off. But as you said, EHOME, they don't want to be the ones to get caught out. They need to find the kicker to start a fight themselves at this stage. Cannot let Alliance or S4 zip in onto them, and we're going to see now Old kicking, Old 11 smoking up, eyes towards the mid lane. Is it really the hero that you want to be making the jump on?
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right now.
EHOME holding away from him. And head over towards the top. Loader at the moment was out there. We can see a lot of warding from EHOME out here. They've got good vision of this area. Alone, this should be a good kill. Old 11 jumps in. Then he back up. Harris to follow through as well. Though. Rather tanky. Old should be taking it. Can they save this man?
Get me free.
Will chase him down. They'll punish the Sand King play.
Now you
Indeed, it is a 1-for-1. EHOME able to get the kill onto Loader.
it's a pretty big kill. Killing him before the Shadow Blade comes out. Obviously, already
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
Alliance not really feeling pressure to go for any towers, and after like knowing for sure now that the Sand King has Blink, I think it's going to be a little bit before we really see them group up. Wait at the very least for S4 to get the Bloodstone. That's going to be one of the bigger things.
Here I am! Radiant's mid tower's coming apart. No breaking down the Radiant structures like this.
Now old Venom, Fenrir, putting some pressure on the team.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged up. Radiant's mid tower's like this over.
Going away from him. Look for the tombstone. That Bulldog was going to try and chase, but Fenrir holds about the arrow. But Bulldog, he already got the Crimson on. So no way that EHOME jump in to try and do anything about that. Find a space for them to back up.
EHOME, again, their lineup is going to really struggle to kill Rocheman, and that's normally one of the bigger objectives that you have once you've taken
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right now.
Eventually, S4 is going to decide to start coming to team fights, so you might get your supports picked off. You know, you think about
spoiled
how
that
he
shot.
played Phantom Assassin yesterday against teams with Shadow Demon. You just go straight to the back line, you get that quick pick on the hero, and then you just get out. It's pretty much the same thing for a Storm.
I mean, talking about the Storm and the Bristleback, I know we keep going back to the Bulldog and S4, but just look at their net worth at this stage of the game to be where they are on these heroes.
They're three towers down. 3 towers down, they still have their network, so they're just effectively farming the map a lot better right now than EHOME, but you could also say that EHOME's farm spread is more. Yeah, like Lanham and Fenrir have a lot more farm respectively than Ake and EGA.
Yeah, but Lanham, of course, as we just see, he's picked up the full veil, ready for the next fight.
Them dire buildings are tough as nails for now.
Because he realizes how critical it is to land.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
Even as 4 has 6
Dire's mid tower's nothing now.
We'll have a chance to escape. They do need to jump on him. Size. He's getting a little bit more space though. We've seen him sit down here on the bottom lane. Alliance.
Radiant's bottom tower's seen better days.
About that. Size, of course, going for the standard Jasha into Battle Fury.
Radiant's top tower's hurting.
As you said, in your eyes, Andy, there's not a lot of pressure on Alliance. You don't feel that you need to make a lot happen at this stage. As long as they can keep this farm going at this pace where they consistently are of EHOME on the court.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be slightly better. Obviously, there are things to worry about like the Center getting agony against Bristleback. That's really painful because it gets rid of the fast. It's die really quick, but looks like EHOME.
Alliance, no. The scan outside as well, it's been confirmed.
I could have hit Roshan with my eyes closed.
They may have a chance for some sort of jump.
I mean, they don't even have
Shadow.
running back there.
The dire took down
Too late, EHOME able to get themselves the Aegis. Lions, they want to try and do anything off the back of this. Loda has got the Shadow Blade already in deep with the Moonlight Shadow. EHOME taking that very, very nicely. Getting the Roshan, taking the Aegis and getting themselves out with no casualties whatsoever. And at the same time, Old Chicken finishes off Aghanim. So Aghanim's and Aegis ready on the Mirana for the next fight. Big objective pickup for EHOME. And they're certainly getting to a pass fight. As we said, you know, with old Lanham's Veil, with the jump in from the Sand King. Indeed, ice.
Boy.
Ha!
They're not aware. Ice will be fine. Successful comes over and zips into the tree line, but as you see, EHOME being very sneaky with his positioning at the moment.
Old 11's also in a very good position as well.
Oh, he's so close. I think they realise. No, they're TPing out. They're TPing out. Ice, he's fine. GM has Ice.
Dire's bottom tower's getting the business.
I think it's actually a blessing in disguise that Alliance did try to go for him right there. Like, maybe they would have killed Ice before the rest of the team got there. But since they were
Dire's top tower, you know the drill. The Dire went and fortified their structures.
It might have not been a good thing. And not to mention, they did just
Dire's lost the top tower.
And the fresh Aghanims. The amount of magic damage that's going to be output with the Veil, Old 11 as well. That is really, really scary to them right now because they don't have magical damage.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
There's no mech.
Dire's top tower's getting beat down. Radiant's toughened up their structures. Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right now. The Dire might want to mine their top tower. There goes Radiant's bottom tower.
With this power spike that EHOME have hit with their items, the fact that there's an as well on the side, but where's 4? Honestly dodging old Levin's attempts at an initiation. But EHOME will stop Alliance from taking the tier 2 for now. Back up to the top lane. It's of course giving Ake some space down bottom as he begins this journey towards the Aghanims, and he's already halfway there. Comes up to 1k on top of the point booster. And as we've seen before, if Ake can get that Aghanims in a reasonable amount of time, obviously it's not going to be as quick as some of the games we saw from Alliance in the group stage. It just offers so much to the way that Alliance players can play.
Yeah, the stage is just ridiculous. Also having a vision. Yeah.
Clap clap.
Casual. DP home. Vision for me is going to be the more important thing, actually. Sure, having the sustain is great. Being able to never have to go
Where's the party?
To see
Yes!
I blew it!
It was not luck, but
not want to
skill.
mess that one up.
That was a pretty cocky move from S4 to be farming that wave. Like, he knew they were there. There's no way that he didn't see it.
It's been a very tough game. In 23 minutes in, only 3 for 6, but as we see just a lack of concentration, little mistakes, and immediately will be there to punish Bulldog. Trying to go in on top. He does have backup ball down here.
Here I am! Let the fun begin!
Shadow. I had no place here.
Somebody's on a roll. 2 down.
Chicken drive-by! Find your third Alliance, falling apart here on this top fight. Aki forced back to base, and Esros had to head off to the side. EHOME kind of baiting them in there with the Undying, and Alliance, they're quick to bite, and EHOME are quick to counter-react.
Radiant's top tower's in bad shape.
Like, he was trying to get out of the fight, walked right into eyesight sight, threw Omnis into the face after he was already
Out of my way!
Drops really quickly.
Radiant's top tower's taking hits. The Radiant got one less top tower.
Like, hitting the Undying is really kind of a struggle. He actually has a huge amount of armor because he already built a Veil and he has an additional Helm of Iron. Well, he's going to be going for the Armlet build, which I believe he's done before. This is a very hard Undying to actually get through. So for Bulldog, he wants to go on, like, you know, chase down the Mirana, stop him from
Here I am!
perhaps, or maybe even the Sand King, just to prevent him from hitting really good stuns inside of the fight.
Big fight for EHOME, and this is, of course, exactly what we expected to see them looking for. After a laning stage where, you know, Alliance were getting the space, they were getting the farm. When it comes to downright team fights, just seen EHOME certainly able to outwit the side of Alliance.
I'm over here!
Come out on top, S4. Yeah, he gets himself out.
That tree saved his life.
Good job as well, because EHOME were coming in hard, as we can see in terms of the build as well. I mean, this Mirana, he's getting pretty farmed, as we can see. He's ahead of the Jug at this stage.
It's actually also making I think is really good for damage. There's a couple of uses. Like the first one, knowing that there's going to be an Orchid up and there's going to be Gust on the ground. It's really nice with the spell.
Yeah, he's sniffed him out, but
it's fine.
Aurora and TP, nowhere to get the vision. Is A-okay? This game at the moment, I feel Alliance. Well, what's the game plan now for Alliance? You just had a bad fight up top. What are you looking to next? Is it a certain item? I mean, Loader at the moment, he's starting to rack up the gold again on top of the Shadow Blade. Are we going to wait for Alliance to get something else on their hands and then to actively go? Are they going to wait for the next Roshan? What's the plan?
I think getting the Orchid is the first step here for Alliance, or maybe if you can get a quick pick. Saw Ice, but this is not a super.
I'm out of here.
Fury and SCP in there. Guys, straight out of harm's way. Okay, how's the progression looking towards Ags? He's just about got enough money for the third component, so still closing in on that item.
I'll take that.
The smoke from EHOME.
Allies
Ready.
disappeared.
So what kind of a jump in they get? Moonlight to help them close the gap. Already though, Alliance trying to retrieve it. Order 11. Looking at Jim on the edge. Close tower. No hope for the Odin. EHOME. I'm one. Can get themselves they've caught him out. Okay, will spend his gold.
The Dire best do something about that +4 right. How about that?
Fagin has been eyeing your mouth.
Oh, what did I miss? Over here now.
Immediately just goes for the zip TP. S4 realizing he can't take that fight.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
It's gonna be even tankier once he finishes up that arm one. And right now, EHOME are doing everything properly. They're pressuring the map.
Loader reveals himself. Or maybe an old chicken could go for a stun play, but now 11 for 4 though. EHOME certainly starting to break away, and you can see indeed on the top of the board, and now ahead of Bulldog's dispatch, which is itself incredibly impressive with the amount of time that Bulldogs managed to get. Orchid is slowly being closed from by S4.
Problem with his Orchid timing this game is there's already a Yules out on the Mirana, so you have to have Orchid
I'll take your
in
tribute.
some other way before you want to jump him. You can still potentially go for the Sand King, you can still go for the Shadow Demon, that's very true, especially considering that Fenrir is carrying around the gem, so he's actually a fairly high value target at this point. But in regards to killing cores, he's gonna kind of struggle for a little while.
You see 1 minute left till Roshan respawn, so point that EHOME are looking to get and then try and go even more aggressive. As we've seen though, without the H, it's EHOME not placed at all, and they have been consistently moving onto Alliance's half of the map, trying to find the kills. In fact, on bottom, that's what was there. Oh, he's still there. Having trouble here. Playing around it. Going for the TP out. Same time, top laner. EGM loaded the found old 11 on his own. But any kind of detection.
No detection.
Oh, they do have Gust. He doesn't have the mana for Gust either. So old 11 looks like he's going to get himself away with a freebie here. But any way to deal with the tanking, it doesn't look like it. Old 11's going to do himself right out of there. Alliance, the tools to take him down.
I don't know, this game's a little bit weird from Alliance for me personally, because like they buy this super early Crimson, they had it at 13 minutes. They didn't really push the towers until quite a bit later, and then Bulldog goes for the SNY before even trying to go for something like that pipe. And the team as a whole feels like it's so scared. Team fights, the Mirana damage, they're just avoiding a game.
How about that?
Evo's execution with this combo. Immaculate. Catching the storm every time.
When you can commit those 3 heroes and guarantee get a kill on the side all the time, Roshan's respawn as well. EHOME still
An easy shot.
And the Alliance Roach bit. Still the mining press for, of course, because he did manage to finish off the Orchid before they took him down.
He's only got 6 Bloodstone charges though. That's really the thing that hurts the most.
I know
You want a lot of charges to make sure, like during the later stages of the game, if you do end up dying, then you respawn really fast and don't have to spend money on a buyback. It's a big difference. It's not
Just what are you hiding, Roshan?
Roche is done for thanks to the Dire.
Alliance, realizing that they couldn't contest that with S4 on the sidelines. I mean, at this point, our Alliance waiting for EHOME to come to them. We can see the Alliance still confident enough to come out onto EHOME's half of the map. 3 of them coming into the push up top. We may very well see EHOME just put pressure on mid and force Alliance to create some sort of a defensive reaction. Looks like Loader gonna stick around top for the time being with EGM. Tier 2's looking very appealing, sitting rather low at the moment on the top lane. But indeed, the pressure is being put on by EHOME on this mid lane. And backup may be required for Alliance. If EHOME decides to push up to the high ground with the Sages.
They do have the Keeper Agony.
Radiant's mid tower's in trouble.
Pushing into this is now extremely
Dire's
difficult
top
with your
tower,
You really
you
only
know
have
the drill.
one hero who's good at hitting towers, and that's Ice.
Dire's
We've
got
seen a
one
lot of
last top
struggles
tower.
So far here at the TI6, not even group stages, but main stage as well. Teams struggling to break high ground because they pick a lot of melee cores. All kind of stuff from that.
And now, letting their push up to the high ground.
That's 4 in a row. How about that?
So much damage coming up in this combo from EHOME.
There's no buyback, that's a full minute.
Radiant's gone and fortified their structures. Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower?
That's gonna be terrifying.
That is their only I mean, EGM.
Top tower's getting Radiant's mid tower ain't doing so good. The Dire might want to mine their top tower.
Whatever they want, get straight back out. Just toying with Alliance at the moment on these high ground pushes.
No one was able to help the Bristleback when he was frontlining. That's the biggest issue. You need to try to have somebody up there, like either have a Pommel Blast. I'm not sure if they just mistimed it, but we're gonna get a chance to see it again. He throws in the Blinding Light. Then we see a double burrow coming in here from Old 11, and they just jump straight away. Loading gets glimmered by EGM, but unfortunately at that point it's kind of already too late. EHOME are just gonna eventually be kind of forced back, but can't really afford for your only frontline hero to die that quickly and hope to defend. It's actually kind of a good thing for them that they managed to maintain their racks and only lost in tier 3.
Old 11. Coming in, he's just picked up a newfound Aghanim Sepsi. Do something with it. EGM at the moment, hiding in the tree line. You can see this vision that Old 11's getting. Simba's rune. As we saw as well after the last fight, Old
The prize is mine.
And Old Chicken's play has been absolutely perfect. Every time, even the KO of these fights, he's always hitting the arrow targets again. Bulldog, there won't be any follow this time from EHOME. More punch to his defensive capabilities when EHOME jump on him. I mean, EHOME at this stage as well, do they just group up and go down the mid again? Are they waiting for Alliance to come out? I mean, if you're EHOME, surely you're not that scared at this point.
They could have siege, if anything, right? They just keep disrupting SSIs, they send his illusions on the range racks, they kill that, and then if Alliance ever get out of position, Old 11 gets a burrow, and potentially they can just take the fight from there.
I'm still for some kind of wrap around, they will find that.
Let the fun begin!
I'll never bow.
That's 4 in a row. 2 down. 5 in a row. 3 down.
Really wide, eyes with the triple. And Alliance, so they make it to they can't take 2 kills each and every time. EHOME just outplaying them in these team fights.
Old 11 is doing so much.
Radiant's mid-ranks ain't looking so high.
He is
Radiant's mid-ranks didn't make it. Radiant's mid-ranks taking some punishment. Radiant's mid-ranks is taking a licking. There goes the Radiant's mid-ranks. Radiant lost one of them bottom towers.
The better calls, the better performance into the mid-game. Now, absolutely miles ahead, 80 to 6.
Radiant's bottom rank ain't no longer. 6 in a row.
He's in trouble for
Seven in a row down.
Looking for me?
Radiant's bottom racks didn't make it.
Over here now. Up.
8 in a row.
Oh, let the fun begin.
I mean, the crowd pretty much says it now.
This time.
It looks like it was going pretty well, but I feel like Alliance, maybe they got too complacent around the idea that the Storm was going to be able to kind of carry the game for them, and I feel like the itemization overall on the Bristleback